First of all, your first and last name, and you sound like you're a professional dog trainer.
So my name is Josh Beckler. I'm with Canine Optima here in the Bay Area, and we focus on behavior, reactivity, aggression, treatment.
And Josh, J-O-S-H, and then Becker, B-E-C-K-E-R.
B-E-C-K-L-E-R.
L-E-R.
Yeah.
And one last name, pronounce your last name, sorry.
Beckler.
Beckler,
Yeah.
Gotcha. I thought it was Beckler, sorry.
That works.
Josh, you saw the video. You
Yeah.
know, you're a professional dog trainer. What are your thoughts about what you've seen of the training session so far?
Unfortunately, it's smoke and mirrors. So my wife went up there as an observer and checked it out, sent some videos, and essentially what you're seeing is dogs just exhaust. And I'm looking at a particular video with a Conic Corso, and the funny thing about this particular video is typically he'll exhaust the dog by whipping him around. They get hyperventilated, they lay kind of immobilized. This dog's kind of funny because as it catches its breath, it keeps going after him. And he really doesn't get anything done with the dog because every time the dog finally caught its breath, it went after him again. And he essentially had to get the dog back to the owners. And the interesting thing about that is when that dog showed up, everybody on the sidewalk was like, oh my God, he's coming up like Hannibal Lecter with a mask. And the sad thing is that they're going to walk back down those stairs and go home and be met with the same reality, which is the dog still has an issue. Right? Unfortunately, you know, when it comes to dog training, it's not about a high and by. You don't fly in and jerk a dog around. And from what my wife was saying and watching it and live, instructing the owners to do that, the sad thing is that they paid X amount of dollars to stand in a room for somebody to say, just jerk your dog around on a leash, the way you see me do on social media every single day, and he's on to another city. So this guy has been denounced by every reputable organization, every methodology, every school of training, both force-free, balance, sport, PSA. One of the only things that we can agree on in the industry is that that is not training, it's taming.
Taming, not training.
Yeah. So imagine, for instance, I have a tantrum, a child is having a tantrum, right? Adrenaline, hyperventilating, heart rate's going, and I just control that child by swinging it around until it exhausts and it shuts down. Now, the only difference here is when the dog finally shuts down, he sits there and pets the dog. And the thing I like about the Conic Corso when you watch this video is he's petting the dog, and the dog, as it catches its breath, goes right back after him. There's no therapy there. So it's cardio, right? So hopefully after the show of support here, after you guys air this, at least we can be done with him here in the Bay Area, because I'd like to think that we're a conscientious area in the nation. I love that animal control showed up and are participating. I truly think that's the way we show up. They actually brought handouts and gave a list of resources and trainers in the Bay Area. That's us coming together. So if anything, I don't believe we're going to get him completely taken care of, but I think he's going to think twice when he comes back to the Bay Area, and hopefully we don't see him again.
Do you know if he has another session here in the Bay Area, or is this his one and only?
No, he's going to be in Sacramento on the 30th. Yeah, so they're going to be priming to show support there.
I wonder, why do you think he's so popular with people, given the divisiveness and so many people coming out against him? Yet people are still, this lady was like, I paid $400 for back in September 2 months ago to sign up for this session, or 3 months ago to sign up for this session. Why given the pushback, why is he still be able to make a living on it?
One, what he's doing is entertaining. So the more you work in behavior, the least fun it is. Oftentimes we have to go slow, stay with the dog, and help that dog start to feel differently about triggers, people, children, dogs, and move with the dog. And nothing about that is entertaining, like flopping a dog around. And unfortunately, he's a residual of Cesar Millan. Every single one of us remember what it was like sitting in our living room and watching Cesar Millan stare down a dog and hover over a dog. And that entertainment quality is what pushed him into the limelight. And so the unfortunate thing is that the most visible aspects of the dog training industry are more of a show than a science. And that's the problem that we have. And that's the reason that these types of movements are so important, is to educate people. And unfortunately, the other aspect of that is that social media and the algorithm, it promotes this sort of thing. So when people jump onto his page and say this is wrong, and another part of his, followership come in and say nuh-uh, that feeds the algorithm and pushes his posts into virality. So the divisiveness is actually encouraging his notoriety.
Interesting you said that, because the lady I interviewed who paid $400 for it is like, I saw it on Facebook, and that's why I paid for the course.
So I have a social media. I have almost 500,000 followers on TikTok. My educational stuff, my stuff that is core with, hey, I want to get this out here, I want to educate you on what's going on with this dog, it never does well. It's the emotional stuff, it's the funny stuff. And so the show must go on. Hopefully we can, bit by bit, war of inches, make the necessary changes to educate, because with social media still comes connectivity. So it's a longer road, but the more we put that information out there, I think we're starting to potentially turn the tide. Because as I've checked his analytics on social media, in the last 3 months, it's starting to fall off since these campaigns started.
Lastly, how would you describe his method? Is it a lot of force? Is it abuse? I mean, how would you characterize?
So you have compulsion. Compulsion is teaching with force, right? And there is technique and levels to force. A lot of trainers start with force, right? We don't know any better, and so we grab the lead and we crank the lead and the dog stops growling and we say, Eureka, I'm a dog trainer. But as you start to meet more dogs and more clients, you start to see the spectrum of behavior and extreme behavior. So you start to realize that you have to flex your skill sets and be more thoughtful and grow your knowledge. And so most trainers walk out of compulsion into a more well-rounded methodology, whether it's force-free or whether it's balanced. But if you can continue to crank and create a spectacle and grow a social media following, a la American Standard, a la Dog Daddy, then who's to stop? He's making money hand over fist. He can afford silk pajamas, and he's here, cashing in.
Thank you so much, Josh. Oh, any closing thoughts before I let you go? I'll give you the final word.
Just for anybody out there, when you're hearing, I understand that there's a lot of preaching going on in dog training. It's an emotional topic. Animal welfare is an emotional topic. Listen to information. Listen to when trainers talk about the science, what's going on in the dog's brain, what's going on in the dog's body, physiology. If you can just wrap your brain around the fact that that is complete smoke and mirrors, it's just adrenaline and it's just cortisol, then you'll start to look elsewhere. Whether that takes you to force-free or whether that takes you to balance, it doesn't matter. You're going to lend that dog grace and have a more thoughtful approach and not put them in duress in the process.
So you feel like that method that he's teaching is not sustainable. It's just basically working the dog's energy off. And so momentarily you might get compliance, but right back to it once the dog is re-energized, and it might have side effects.
So I'm going to give you the exact scenario. I'm going to explain to you the dog's experience that's happening right now. Let's pretend for a second that a car crashes right next to us. Everybody skids across and hits a vehicle. We all get a nice dose of adrenaline. Our self-preservation mechanism kicks in. That adrenaline tenses up our muscles and we explode, we scream, we run. That's the dog's experience when a stranger walks up, it's Dog Daddy, and grabs a lead and starts jerking him around. It's just adrenaline. And after an extended period of time, the body starts to realize that this is too much stress. And the adrenal medulla leaks cortisol. Cortisol then tempers the system and immobilizes the dog. So that's exactly what he's doing. So at the end of every one of his little sessions, you see the dog panting. He puts his hand on the dog's head as if he's cured the dog. So unfortunately, snake oil is still in business and this guy is selling.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.